Well. Hello, curiosity seekers. Well, again, this is Thomas coming to you. It's been a while, but I tell you, I believe that I do need to talk about a certain situation that's happening, and I think everyone's aware of it by now, or should be aware of it, with the ocean spray scandal or issues that they had with cans of ocean spray. And then also, of course, we had the Campbell's soup, which has a lot to do with, labeling. So basically, I think this particular podcast today is going to be about labels. Do we trust them or not? Do we trust the companies that print the labels or not? Are the labels that are attached to the canned goods for the right quantity and the count and the vegetables or whatever that's inside them? I mean, there are a lot of things that we in the past have taken for granted. And basically, we've been saying, when we go to the grocery store, we, get a can of this, a can of that, and we go back to home, and what is in the can is what we expect to be in the can. But I think a lot of things are happening. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that, we've had a lot of ICE raids, and I think there have been a lot of people that have been working for these companies that may be, skirting under the radar as far as immigration. And these companies have been, hiring these people illegally to do the work that other people won't do. And I understand, that they can get these people to do a large, work load for very little money. And that's wrong. So let me just say this. Camel soup. Okay. I don't really appreciate what the CEO of the company said. Yes, they did fire the gentleman that got the, whistle blowed and he was recorded as saying that the meat was, 3D printed. But let's be honest. There are plenty of other companies that are doing fraudulent and underhanded things as well. I mean, we've got, people that are are packaging meats that are not really meat. We've got companies that are, putting all of these chemicals into our foods. I mean, and it seems to be like it's all happening under our noses. And, it's because we basically are a trusting society. We believe that no one would dare lie to us or deceive us in such a manner. And then it becomes such a huge surprise when we get, out there and we go and we buy the canned goods and then, we find out that, oh my God, Campbell's soup? How in the world? Mm-mm, good? Mm-mm, not. And so, okay, let's talk about that ocean spray. Now, I've got a number for y'all if you do have anything with ocean spray. There's an 800 number, and I can give that to you. It's 1-800-662-3263. Let me repeat that. 1-800-662-3263. Now, this is for Ocean Spray's customer service. So if any of you, during Thanksgiving got out there and you bought the Ocean Spray cranberry sauce or the cranberry gel, then and you opened the cans up and they weren't filled with what they were supposed to be, they were full of water, you have every right to go back and get your money back because that's fraud. I mean, every dime counts these days when we go grocery shopping. And so should not have to deal with this intentional deception. And let me say this too. So if those cans of ocean spray did not have the true product in them, but only had water, people, the weight is going to be different. I'm talking about on the scale. So who is deceiving who? Is it that the manufacturer doing it? Or perhaps the grocery store knows it as well. You see, we never really will know, I guess, that answer. But it does call into question that we should be looking at all labels. Be looking for what's on the label. I remember growing up, we didn't have to be worried about our food. I mean, we trusted the local grocer, and he was our friend, our neighbor, and you know, he basically, was a good person and honest and true. But then, what's happened is we've now have these major grocery store chains, and a lot of them are owned by certain or very few, corporations. And these corporations basically are giving guidelines for these people to be deceptive. And I don't know how those corporate executives sleep at night, knowing full well that what they're putting out, the directives, and these people are following those directions, and how people are being cheated, how they can sleep at night. Because I'm just telling you, people, it is not fair. It's not right. You know, we live now, a lot of us, from paycheck to paycheck. And so every dime we spend, we account for it. Our government doesn't account for it. They can't even balance a budget. But on the other hand, we know if we don't have money, we starve. So we have to watch every penny, every dime. And when you have this kind of a deception going on, and literally, changing the product. They even had some Del Monte cans that came out, and people thought they had green beans because, again, it's Thanksgiving. A lot of people get green beans and they make a recipe for green bean casserole. Well, they get home and they open it up, and lo and behold, it's not green beans. It's beets. Well, okay, you can change the dish and make it a pickled beets or whatever, but that's not what you expected. And so, people are having to make adjustments. Why aren't the companies being held accountable? My question. Why are we allowing these things to continue? Why are we not raising a stink about this, as I am? And so I encourage all of you, to come forward with this fraudulent labeling, where you're looking at it and all of the things that are there are not good for you. Why are we allowing this to happen? Why don't we boycott that particular company? Maybe then, if it affects them in their wallet, maybe they'll do something about it. Otherwise, they can continue. And a lot of people have come to the thing, and I think this is what happened, especially during Thanksgiving. People are going, oh, I don't have time to go back to the grocery store. And, it's over and done with now. And it was just a can of this or just a can of that. No, no, and no. If you made a purchase and the expectation was that it was a good product inside, or the product that was inside there was what exactly it said it was on the label, then that is the expectation you should expect that company to back it up. And they should say, of course, you should get a refund. So what I ask you to do is to go and be more, okay, diligent in when you do your shopping. Because if we don't look at the label, who's going to? You think that executive is going to care about the label? No. He's the one that's, putting it out there. And we're supposed to say, that's quality goods. Really? So good old Campbell's soup. Quality, right? Good? No. They know what they're doing. All they care about is the the bottom line, the profit that they make after all of the expenses. But that profit, they're only getting it because we're going out and buying their product. Realize this. If they continue to have the goods sitting on the shelf, then they don't have any more orders. So when they don't get orders coming in, what are they going to do with all their extra supply? I remember seeing a picture on Twitter too. They showed a pallet, and you're talking about like maybe in a super chain, like Walmart or whatever, and they stack it out really, deep, and they fill up the pallet with it, and it had all this Campbell soup, not even being touched. Well, guess what? That means that product, and they had a sign on it that said $1. They're trying to give it away. But you know what? If it's faulty to begin with, if it's fake to begin with, why would you even pay $1 for it? Don't pay anything for it. Make these people, these corporations, cough it up. Cough up the refund. It's not right. It is not right for them to continue to get away with this, to poison us with all this chemicals that's in our foods, our processed foods, everything. We need to take a stand. We need to say enough is enough. I come in here and I pay exorbitant prices, pay exorbitant amounts of money for the prices that you put on this garbage that you're selling to us. And I'm tired of it. We all should say this. We are tired of it. So please, I ask you, take a stand. Be like I am. Be diligent. Realize we have the control. And we do. The control is this. Boycott it. Don't buy it ever again. Let them see. We are not to be played with. We are not to be played fools. And we have been for years. And it's time it stopped. So I do welcome your comments about this podcast and all of the others that I've ever given you. I'm just a voice out there. I'm just someone that speaks what I feel is the truth. I speak for those who are maybe afraid to speak. I'm not. And so I want to hear from you. I want to know if you too are feeling this deception, this, only thinking about the corporation, not thinking about, the family gathering around the supper table and eating this crappy food. Where is the quality? Other countries expect it. Other countries don't allow it. This garbage that they put into our foods, these chemicals, these colorings that they use only here in the United States. Other countries ban it. We need to talk to our congressmen and our senators and tell them to get off their ass and do something. That's what we pay them to do. That's what we pay them a salary to do. They're supposed to be our advocate, not supposed to be taking money under the table from all of these interest groups. It's time the corruption stops. And if it means it takes it all the way up to the head honcho, Sir Donald J. Trump, then let's do so. Is everybody with me? Amen, amen.